Hi, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single weekday, we're coming at you live from our beautiful studio in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. What an exciting show. What an amazing day to have the co-founder of Hedera Hashgraph joining us, Mance Harmon. He'll be joining us in T-minus 28 minutes. We're going to talk all things Hedera, all the big partnership news, the massive news that broke today. Hedera Micropayments platform drops is being integrated with FedNow. We're going to get Mance's take. Also, the partnership with Kia and Hyundai and MasterCard and everything else. We're excited to get this thing going. But first, here is your other co-host, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we are the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where, unlike the other ones, they take old, boring, and stale information and, well, we repackage that up in a fun and sexy way. And did Bitcoin go to over 30,000 yet? No? Damn.
Bitcoin is officially a stable coin.
Yes.
Guys, before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business, you want to maximize your networking and your cybersecurity, there's no better company to call than Cam's Blue Wire Tech. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Speaking of videos, we start our show every day with some giggles. And well, today, Robin, I went to college. I played football in college. So I haven't worked out in a while. But you do work out. And I'm curious to get your...
We can tell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Keep up the good work, David.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. There you go.
I'm curious to get your opinion. Is this the correct way to use this piece of gym equipment? I haven't been in a gym in about 3 years, so I'll play it and I'll stop it. So this one, what is it typically meant?
Is this
to work
the
out?
leg extension?
Is it the leg extension? I haven't been in a gym in a long time. I'm hoping you can guide me here.
Yeah.
This is a leg
This
extension.
one works your hamstrings.
Your hamstrings and your quads, right? If I remember correct.
Yeah. Well, your hamstrings are part of your quads. Hamstrings are on the top side,
That's
and then yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well,
your glutes are more in the back.
This lady apparently found a life hack. There's a new way to use this machine, and well, you can do bicep curls.
The best part is that this guy in the back is unfazed. Look at this, like press play. This guy's back here. He's just still working out. This lady is on her back, and he's just like, I'm in the middle of my set. I will not let go.
He can't be bothered. At least one guy went over to check on her. That's really good.
Like, what a piece of crap that guy is.
And so,
like, he needs to be a gentleman, right?
there was a gentleman. You can't have two gentlemen. One's enough. So we have this video here. We have a glass of champagne, mom and child. And well, so something's about to happen, right? Who do you think, who should the mother save first? The glass of champagne or the baby?
I feel like if you save the champagne, you save the baby, right?
Well, let's see what falls out and up, baby. Champagne.
They both actually went down, though. But the glassware is good.
Champagne's expensive.
Okay.
Champagne's
Gotcha.
expensive. All right. Next, we have dancing lessons brought to you by this construction worker. And so, guys, if you're ready, getting ready for a big day. It's a wheelbarrow. A big night out with your lady, or you're getting ready to, your wedding's coming up, and, well, you just don't have time to take dancing lessons. There is one way while you're at work to...
I will say that I feel like the wheelbarrow has better moves than you do, David.
That is actually very true. I will not fight you on that. And also, we have a visual representation of the retail investor, and let's just take a look. Bitcoin at 50K. You want some? Nope. Okay, well, fine. 30K. Nope. Fine then. 100,000, and there you go, Devin. Why is it like... Why... Okay, let's rate this dive on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's.
It's pretty good.
I mean, that was more like a belly flop. I want to ask you a serious question though. Why is it that
I swear my dog is like that. I try to give my dog some food. Like,
why do you think it is that this is true, right? When Bitcoin was at 55, 60K, everyone's piling in. You're getting phone calls. Hey, how can I buy Bitcoin? Where can I buy Bitcoin? Tell me about Bitcoin. And Bitcoin goes to 15,000. It's on sale for, say, 70, 80%. and no one wants to touch it. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's a psychological thing? You think it's social proof?
You're seeing that people around you are making money because you know that every person that was over here telling you to buy Bitcoin at 15,000, 30,000, all of those people that were in your ear and you're like, yeah, I know. I'll get it. I'll get some Bitcoin. I need to get some Bitcoin, or hey, I should have got it earlier. At that moment, you say like, damn it, man, I missed out, man. And it's like, I should have listened. And you think, and then you start thinking like, hey man, what about all those people that said it's going to go to $1 million? What about all those people that said it's going to go to 200,000? Right now it's at 100. Yeah, I could have bought it cheaper, but, and so that's where the psychology goes. The problem with all of this is that everything kind of everything rebounds, and there's always ebbs and flows to the market. So whenever Bitcoin does get to 100,000, it's not going to cross 100,000, stay above it for eternity, right? At some point, it's going to cross $100,000. And after that point, at some other point, it's going to be back down to 80,000. Now, that's just how markets work. So if it gets to a price that you're like, damn it, I wish I would have bought, just chill, hang out, wait a little bit, it'll come back.
My advice to anyone watching is if you invested in a project or you're looking to invest in a project, there's a reason you did it, right? Whether you look at the technology, the partnerships, what use cases they're looking to solve, and the price starts to plummet. If nothing has changed as to why you invested in that project in the first place, then look at it as just a discount, as market conditions, as the ebbs and flows of the market. Now, it's a different story if the base layer changes, something happened, a hack, whatever the case may be, then yeah, you got to reevaluate. But when you look at something like Bitcoin, what made you, what changed between 60,000 and 15,000? Nothing. The network still continued to produce blocks. People still were holding Bitcoin. People still were buying Bitcoin. It's just there was a mass sell-off, ebbs and flow of the market. So keep that in mind.
I do want to real quick give a quick shout out to the chat here. If you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We do have a few new people here as well. We got Hedera House, Perfect Ability. Dow Dua Kutuka. I don't know how to say the name, but what's up? And we also got Screwdriver 3, Mike Play, and Jacob B. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, do us a favor, guys. We are at a flat 59 likes, less than 30% like ratio. So what's going on here? Do you not like the show? If you like the show, if you like the content, if you're excited about Mance Harmon joining us, if you're excited about H-Bar, or if you just want to lend us a favor, hit that like button. And then also one last thing, let's get the chat going. If you've hit the like button, drop an hola in the chat. Let's get the hola train going. I'm going to be the first one to put it in there. Let's see if we can get over 100 holas in the chat. And let's get this party started, bro. Oh, wait, you want to do a club limit today or what?
220.
220?
220.
All right, guys.
We're going big, going home.
All right, so club limit set at 220. So if we get to 220 likes, we're going to open up the club, have a Vegas party, and yeah, we're gonna.
Will we open up the club with Mance on the show?
I don't know, maybe. We do got Dixie Flatline also gifted 5 memberships. So big shout out to you, Dixie, and congratulations to the new members of it.
Thank you, guys. Now, Robin, have you heard of this new coin?
What it is?
It's taking over the crypto markets by storm.
Why do I feel like this is a joke?
Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu. You laugh, but it's literally at $150 million market cap. When is this going to end? When is this going to end?
Harry Potter what?
Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu.
Have you bought any yet?
No. When is this going to end, man? $150 million. Imagine that money going into a growing ecosystem that we just never learn, right? We just never learn. Also, guys, the drama escalates in regards to Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and their fight. Apparently, Elon is backing out. We're actually going to I'm going to ask Mance Harmon himself who he's got his money on if this fight does happen. So this is Elon in green. Well, wait, does this mean that Elon has an Android or Mark Zuckerberg has an Android? Green text, we don't like that. Want to do a practice bout at your house next week? That's what Elon said, to where Zuck said, if you still want to do a real MMA fight, then you should train on your own and let me know when you're ready to compete. I don't want to keep hyping something up that'll never happen, so you should either decide you're going to do this and do it soon, or we should move on. And to which Elon said, I will be in Palo Alto on Monday. Let's fight in your octagon. I have not been practicing much apart from a brief bout with Lex. While I think it is very unlikely, given our size difference, perhaps you are a modern day Bruce Lee and will somehow win. Okay. You know, I really like Elon.
I feel like he's backtracking, bro.
He is backtracking. I mean, guys, Mark Zuckerberg is literally a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. The guy's in better shape. He's been training longer. He's younger.
I'm telling you, I'm still going with the fact that Elon has that, what's the computer chip thing?
Neuralink.
The Neuralink. I'm telling you, he's going to download some karate moves. He's going to put it right into his spinal cord, and dude's going to come out like the Matrix. So you're going to think that
I don't think that's how it works.
I've seen the movies. I know how it works.
Yeah. We know whatever happens in the movies is true, right?
Yeah. I mean, with all the conspiracy theories, think about it.
Yeah.
Aliens, true.
I found something pretty cool here. So this is a video of an ICU patient exercising using VR. This is, like, how cool is this for someone who has to be, and we can, there we go. For someone that has to be, tied to a hospital bed, we know just from a mental perspective, not being able to go outside. And so, these are some of the things when you talk about technology, the advancement, AR, VR. This was just something cool I found that I wanted to share. And so better that $150 million go to companies like these that are looking to, change people's lives in the way they are than to just speculate on another BS meme token. Also, something pretty cool. Henderson just became only the second team from Nevada ever to advance to the Little League World Series.
Are your kids in? I know your kids play sports. Are they
play soccer, not baseball. Which, thank God, because I don't like baseball. Baseball is very boring.
Baseball?
Baseball's boring.
What country are you from, man?
I'm a USA.
Are you?
Yes. Baseball's boring, man. I don't like baseball. Give me football. Give me basketball. Give me soccer.
Well,
give me tennis.
We're getting the A's here in Las Vegas. They're moving from California here.
Another Oakland team.
And I will be getting tickets. I'll be going, but do not ask me for tickets because you are not a fan.
I don't want to come.
Okay. I'm just letting you know.
Also, big news from Coinbase. They have officially launched in Canada today. New leadership, new payment rails, new regulatory milestones, and 200 local employees. We do have a few guests in-house joining us, which, by the way, if you're a member of our community, you're ever in Las Vegas and you want to come hang out in our studio and watch the show live, please reach out to us. All of our info and how to get in contact with us is on our website at sincitycrypto.io. But Robin, Canada, Coinbase.
Do you feel like this is more of a bullish narrative, or do you think it's more of an indictment on the Coinbase platform having difficulties operating within the United States?
Good
question. I mean, it's both, obviously, right? I don't think that there's any negative to Coinbase expanding, but for so many years, 10 plus years, Coinbase has operated exclusively in the United States and hasn't really made a large push to operate internationally. And now we're seeing not only Canada, there was some other discussions a few months ago where they were working, where were they trying to open up? Somewhere in Europe, right?
Europe or the UAE.
But the thing is they're expanding their business. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that you can't, at this point, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You can't sit here and say as a company that operates cryptocurrency or, that is relying on crypto, you can't blindly say we're only going to operate in the US because the regulation at any point could shut you down, which we're seeing actively with the SEC with all the lawsuits. And so if you are a business owner, you operate in the US, like you're pretty much forced to expand because if the cards don't fall in your favor, you can be forced to close and that's it. And if you have employees, obviously you have a reputation, you don't want all of that to go under. You got to move. You got to make some moves, and I think that's what we're seeing. So God bless Canada. There you go.
You think they're hedging their bet against any issues in the U.S. or is just natural progression?
Did you not hear anything I just said?
My apologies. Sorry. How does it feel, Robin? Look, I do agree with you. I was kidding. I do listen to what you said.
Thank you.
I do think it's a little bit of both. But Coinbase has said, Brian Armstrong has come out and said, we are not even considering. There's not even an inkling of a thought in our mind of leaving the United States, Coinbase is the face of U.S. regulated crypto exchanges. And I think it's only going to get bigger as other companies. I mean, let's face it, Coinbase is the only publicly traded cryptocurrency exchange in the U.S. And it's going to serve them well moving forward, especially as adoption grows and especially as it becomes more accepted in the political circles and it transcends the partisanship that is United States politics, because people are understanding. We do have a video from Jay Clayton that we're going to show later. We're at a point here in the U.S. where they know we're here to stay. They know we're here to stay. Now it's about control and power, and who knows how long that fight's going to go on for.
Then also, we're at 200 live viewers at the moment, 100 likes, we're right about 50%. So thanks for hitting that like button, but let's get that thing a little higher. We will open up the club at 220, so do us a favor. Smash that like. And also, if you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We got Java Urena, Patrick S., Raw Blitz, Carrie C., Zico, FZ, Hardbacher, Raw, and Carrie C. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
We do have some good news as well. I believe this is good news, right? Sam Bankman-Fried. So he got his bail revoked, and he's en route to a notorious Brooklyn prison known for its harsh conditions. Fun facts, this is where Jeffrey Epstein was. This is also
what
where...
are you trying to say here, bro?
Lane, I'm just reading a tweet, man.
Okay.
In 2019, a cold snap power outage led to protests, allegations of severe violence and abuse inside by security guards, overcrowding, hygiene problems, impacting conditions. Do you think they have a special vegan menu?
When you say special, I think they just remove the protein. So if you're getting like steamed broccoli and Salisbury steak, you're just going to get a double portion of broccoli. That'd be my guess.
Do you think they season the broccoli?
Oh, absolutely not.
Salt and pepper?
No.
Okay.
And here's the thing, like, it's kind of surreal, right? Here's the I didn't talk about it too much on Sunday on Rant and Ramble, and didn't talk about it. I know we don't really have much to go on here, but I mean, dude's locked up, bro. Did you see it coming?
If anyone deserves it, it's him.
Yeah, I agree. But he was straight. He was playing with the judicial system, right?
Because he thinks everything's a joke. Oh, I can commingle customer funds. Ha ha ha, no problem. Oh, I can
He is on bail, not supposed to use the internet, and he got caught again on VPN, bro. Twice. First time he was over here trying to stream the NFL playoff game, which, by the way, it's on national broadcast television. I don't know why you couldn't just hook up an antenna, but nonetheless.
Maybe he was trying to catch it in Espanol.
And then he was like supposedly peeping on some girl at a basketball game. He was a VPN again. Witness tampering. The dude's out of control. And so the judge is just like, it doesn't matter how good your lawyer team is. If you try to make a mockery of the court system, you're just blatantly ignorant and you just have no regard.
I don't think it's ignorance. I think it's arrogance.
Yeah. And well, hey, you know what? The arrogance is good luck plugging in a VPN to that TV that's across the room on the little shelf in the cafeteria.
You know what the messed up part is? If he would have just kind of like went to his parents' house in the basement, stayed there, didn't try to do anything stupid, we would have probably forgotten about him. The media would have forgotten about him, and he would have probably gotten off, I don't want to say scot-free, but definitely not revoked bail, definitely not in jail. And he got what's coming to him, and it's nice to see. After all these people,
some people just don't learn, bro.
They don't, and some people are where they belong. I'll leave it at that. Now, all right, let's move on to... I have this piece of news, Robin. Curious to get your thoughts. Bitcoin address with over 1,000 BTC suddenly wakes up after nearly 13 years. That's a very long time. So apparently this was one of the OG miners. This is from 2010. And it's worth about $29 million. We've seen more of this year, Rob, than we have any other year. As far as these longer-term addresses waking up, is this a cause for concern for you?
No, and as the value of crypto keeps rising, so does the value of these wallets, which could, obviously if you have all of your crypto, how much is 1,000 Bitcoin? What is that?
29 million.
29 million?
Yeah.
So now you have $29 million sitting in one wallet address that could be, compromised if you don't have the proper security, right? Or it could be lost or damaged if it's not stored correctly. And so for that, why it would be stupid not to mitigate the risk, right? It'd be stupid not to take that wallet, break it up into 10 wallets of 100, and then have a custodial agent keep that safe for you, right?
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, whether it's a 3-factor authentication with, in-person, because they have those in-person 3 factors, right? Where you have to have 3 people go down to a bank or whatever it is to get a seed phrase or a part of it.
Yeah, there's plenty of different ways they do it. They can do sharded keys, and so
Yeah.
there's plenty of ways to do so. It's just when people, when I take a look at the Bitcoin on exchanges and I see a massive Bitcoin flowing from offline to online, why else would someone do that than to sell? Same thing you can say when people take it off the exchanges and move it offline into a cold storage wallet. Why would they do that? Obviously, they're not looking to sell.
If you're going to put it in a real world perspective, and this is not a far stretch, you think about it this way. Say you have $1,000, right? And you don't have a bank account. Let's say you have to keep it in cash. You have $1,000. You have it in cash. It's fine. You throw it in a drawer, right? What happens when you have that $1,000 now is $100,000? Are you going to still just keep it in that drawer? No, you're probably going to put $10,000 in the drawer. You're going to put $50,000 at grandma's house, maybe some in the backyard. If you're not allowed to keep it in a bank, just like Bitcoin, you're not allowed to keep it in a bank. So it's likened to cash, right? Because if somebody grabs your seed phrase or grabs your hard drive and they have access to it, then that's pretty much good as cash gone, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not a big deal when it's $1,000. It's not a big deal when it's $10,000. But when you're at $29 million, you're not going to keep that under the mattress. You're going to spread that out and mitigate risk. So,
yep. Okay. Let's move on to our market segment. But first, today's market segment is brought to you by iTrust Capital, the leading crypto IRA account or company in our space, iTrust Capital. If you use the link in the description of our video, you will receive a free $100 once you fund your account. You are able to hodl your Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, even your Hedera, and be able to enjoy those gains tax-free in retirement if you set up a Roth IRA account. So thank you to them. Also, we like to go over, so every Monday we like to give you a heads up on what are some of the biggest macro happenings, just so we can gauge if there's going to be any volatility for us this week, and so we can make moves with that in mind. Now, we do have retail sales month over month coming out tomorrow, but the big one here, guys, is FOMC minutes. August 16th, in 2 days, we will finally learn what it is that they talked about in the last FOMC meeting. I understand that after Jerome Powell does his speech, he has notes in front of him that he goes over. People ask him questions, but the FOMC minutes really digs into what they discussed among all the FOMC members. What was recommended, what was discussed, what did come to fruition, what didn't come to fruition, and it gives us a lens into what to expect in the next meeting. Now, we don't have a meeting in August. We have to wait till September, which will give us 2 CPI prints under our belt. We know CPI went up last month, year over year. Will it continue to go up next month, year over year? That remains to be seen. And so that is something to keep an eye on. As far as the cryptocurrency markets, we have... let's take a look here at 1.8 million cryptos, market cap $1.18 trillion, with volume taking up 65% to 28 billion. Majority of that is Hedera, as they are leading the way. We're going to get into Hedera here in a couple minutes. We do have co-founder Mance Harmon joining us in a couple minutes here, so stay tuned, guys. We're excited for that. Speaking of Bitcoin, 29,300, flat on the 1 hour, flat on the 24 hour, and flat on the week. ETH coming in at 1842, and then XRP, another note, is 63 cents. I did mention the biggest gainer. We have Hedera Hashgraph. Big news dropping today. A partnership with FedNow as they're integrating the drop micropayment solution. We're going to get Mance's take on that here in a few minutes. And then just to take a look at the crypto bubbles, of course, Hedera is leading the way at 16.1%, followed by Pulse, Radix, Frax Shares, Conflux. Some of the losers today include Caspa, XLM, Doge, and Aptos. Rob, what are your thoughts on the market? What are your just general thoughts on everything?
You know, in the past where we've seen large consolidation periods with Bitcoin, we've seen rallies in the altcoin market. Particularly if you go back in history in the bull market, that's when you had the consolidation of Bitcoins, when you saw the big price movements on the altcoins. Oh, I know someone was talking to me yesterday. They're like, when is the altcoin rally going to, this season going to come around? I don't know if we're going to see something comparable to when we were in a bull market. I just don't think there's that much new money flowing into the markets. But I don't know, a lot of people, are moving money around from these larger projects and going to more risk on. And as you leave the Bitcoin and Ethereum ecosystem, you are taking on more risk if you're just to simply look at it from a longevity standpoint for how long these projects have been around. And so people feel a little bit more comfortable when we're coming out of the bottom of a bear market that these projects aren't going to go under. And so, yeah, I think that's why you see some of these projects in the altcoins rally. I think we're going to get a little bit more of it. I think as Bitcoin gets closer to 50,000, we're going to start seeing altcoins one by one pop off. Whichever ones have big partnerships, I think we're going to be the biggest movers. And liken it to like fireworks, right? You see one pop off, and then usually one in the similar sector will pop off shortly thereafter. We saw that with DeFi. Was it DeFi summer originally? Then the NFTs, and the list goes on and on. So. Yeah.
All right, my friends, the time is here. This is his third time joining us. We consider him a friend of the channel. We love what he is doing in our space. We love what Hedera is doing. So let's bring him on. The co-founder of Hedera Hashgraph and the co-CEO of Swirled Labs, Mr. Mance Harmon. Mance, how are you doing, my friend?
Hi, guys.
Hey,
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We know you're extremely busy. We just wanted to take the time to really, really thank you for your time and joining us today. What an amazing day to have you on. But Mance, before I get into anything Hedera or crypto related, I have to get your opinion here, okay? You're a very methodical person. This Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Vegas odds are out.
Is it real?
Vegas odds are out. Who you got your money on, Mance?
No, look, Elon's got the size and the weight. Zuckerberg, I believe, is probably going to be more nimble. And if you take him at his word, he actually fights, right? He actually he trains and it actually is into martial arts. So I'm still skeptical the whole thing is going to happen at all. Yeah. I would love to see it. Like I think most people would love to tune in. I certainly would tune in. But I don't know. I think Elon's got the size. That means a lot.
I agree. But Mark is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, and he's got the age on his side. I don't know. I want to see Elon win, but
if it was strictly boxing, Elon's the weight plus the reach, I would lean more that direction. But
you got grappling in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Elon being that nimble. So,
but we're with you, Mance. We would definitely pay to see that as well. Now, Mance, I am so excited to have you on today. Big news came out today with FedNow, and I'm just going to go ahead and share the article so people can see visually what I'm talking about here. FedNow adopts distributed ledger technology micropayment partner, which is drops for retail transactions on Hedera Hashgraph. This is the official website from the FedNow, drop.inc. Mance, tell us about this partnership. How long has this been in the works for? How excited are you guys? And what is that going to change for micropayments, for FedNow, and potentially for Hedera?
Well, this technology has been being developed by Sushil Prabhu, who is the CEO. I've known him for years now, and I've known about the project that he's been pursuing. He's focused on real-time payments, initially working with banks, just an RTP, enabling RTP. When you think about real-time payments, whether it's the banks or it's FedNow, the tech that they have, generally speaking, is just the rails, right? It's just the payment rails. But when it comes to all of the additional technology that has to be built on top to create a solution that makes it possible for merchants to be sending payments to each other, the user interface and all of the additional trappings of a solution that are on top of just transferring tokens from one account to another account. That's the value that Drop provides. And my understanding is that they started talking to FedNow back in March. And so it's moved very quickly. The announcement by FedNow, I think perhaps was a little bit unexpected that it was dropping today. And so of course, there's a lot of excitement about it. What does it mean? It means that there is now further validation that the market really does care about real-time payments. There's still a long way to go in terms of rolling the whole solution out and achieving the adoption that we all hope will be achieved. But it's not years away. It's being rolled out through the end of the year, perhaps into next quarter per Sushil. And what does it mean for Hedera and the market? Well, for Hedera, it means many, many millions of accounts that will be built or created rather on the platform. Everyone that would use the technology would end up creating an account on the Hedera network. It would be transparent to them. Of course, they wouldn't understand necessarily what's going on, which is what we hope would happen, right? Ultimately, it's all infrastructure that we're building. These layer one protocols, including Hedera, we're plumbing. And you don't really want to think about the plumbing when you're using the tech, the solution. But nevertheless, it would result in many millions and millions. Well, every user would end up with an account on Hedera, and every transaction would flow through Hedera. So it's a combination of the Hedera consensus service as well as the tokenization service, and it would end up being many, many millions of transactions per day at scale. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal for Hedera. It's a big deal for the industry, and we're excited to see that FedNow had the position that they're confident enough in the company at Drop and in Hedera that they decided to go ahead and make an announcement.
Yeah, and micropayments is something that not a lot of people talk about, but that is kind of the future. You have Elon Musk and X and being able to tip content creators in micropayments, and it's not practical to pay these 2%, 3%, 4% credit card fees. And so it's just amazing to me that out of all the layer ones to choose from, they went with something like Hedera. I believe Robin had a question for you, Mance.
Well, no, I was just gonna kind of expand my thoughts. Is that upon research, because the FedNow is essentially a solution to the outdated fiat system that we have, or particularly SWIFT, where payments move slowly. And this was the government's solution to that. And upon doing research, it was pretty clear and evident upon launch, because obviously it's a competitor. We want to do our due diligence. Didn't see much of anything that related to blockchain technology. And so for us, it was more of a foregone conclusion. I think that the broader crypto ecosystem kind of all assumed hey, this is just a ledger run by the United States government that speeds up payments, and maybe it's a competition to blockchain. And then lo and behold, we get this news that drops today, and we're plugged into the Hedera ecosystem and kind of went over our heads. So what a pleasant surprise. And I think that kind of speaks more about what people are thinking about with the FedNow, right? Is that, hey, this is a government entity, and then you have two camps. You have, hey, this is the government, this is fiat. Then you have the crypto, passionate people that don't really want to integrate the two. And I think it's coming whether you want to or not. So not particularly a question, but I just wanted to just expand on that. I think it's pretty awesome to see this. I didn't see this coming myself personally. So just enthusiastic about it all.
Now, Mance, whenever we have crypto companies that either help or partner with government entities or traditional, you hear the super loud spoken crypto people, oh my God, this is not what blockchain is supposed to be. And they start fretting. We saw it happen there was another company that partnered with the government or FedNow or Ripple, right? They're partnering with banks to help, the payment infrastructure. What do you say to those people? For me, it's like, look, if we believe in the technology and how it can change the world, where else should we want it to start than at our own government, right? To make it more efficient?
Well, look, I mean, when it comes to the tech, to be clear, to my knowledge, Hedera is not directly involved in the work with FedNow, which is exactly the way you would hope this would work, right? We've got the layer one, which is Hedera, providing the plumbing to enable a solution. And then in our ecosystem, there is a company, Drop, that has created a solution, and Drop is out there doing what you would expect developers that are building businesses on top of Hedera to do, to find markets to sell their solutions into. And it turns out that they're working with FedNow. It's not surprising that Hedera is the layer one that is being used for this application because it has a lot of advantages, right? It's got fantastic performance. It's got fixed costs, really ultra low fixed costs. There's no variability in the cost per transaction based on what the token price of HBAR is. That we've eliminated that as a problem. It's very green for those that care about these things. We're leading in terms of being the greenest infrastructure out there. So I'm not surprised at all that Hedera would be considered for the platform for this. And it's great to see that our ecosystem members are out there being successful in building on top of us and partnering with not just the government or the banks, but across the board. We see a lot of adoption across the board.
I think that's a great perspective, Mance. And like I said, I know people have a hard time trusting the government, but again, I'm going to say it again. The technology, we all believe in it. We believe what companies like Hedera are doing. Government should be the first ones that we want to be on the blockchain, to be transparent, to be held accountable. Mance, I want to shift from FedNow to our recent partnership. Hyundai and Kia unveiled blockchain AI solution to track carbon emissions. Man, when we shared this news, I believe it was last week or a couple weeks ago, this was pretty exciting. We always have this discussion, Mance, on our show. What sector of traditional finance or business will blockchain come to first? Is it going to be supply chain? Is it going to be micropayments? Is it going to be, and for you guys, this carbon emissions, tell us about this partnership and just what it could potentially come to and what it could potentially do for the automotive industry, the blockchain industry, and any other industry you think it can have an impact on.
Yeah, well, for years now, I've been talking about the value that blockchain and Hedera specifically could have for supply chain generally. And, I would always talk about this specific use case that it comes to my mind. You have raw materials flowing into a supply chain for a company that's going to build sneakers, for example. And those raw materials could be represented by tokens. And then as those tokens flow through the supply chain, they can be used by the manufacturer, exchange in a DeFi context with, for getting a capital loan, or perhaps further down the supply chain, you could use the tokens to get product insurance, and then ultimately you sell the products, the sneakers in this case, crates of sneakers, and they flow to a distributor, and then you get in exchange for that an accounts receivable that takes the form of a token, and then you use that token again in the context of DeFi, and you factor it so that you effectively sell that AR, that accounts receivable, at a discount, and you get more cash flow. It's just revolutionizing the way finance can be done in the context of supply chain. Layered on top of that is ESG. If you have that kind of transparency about what's going on, you can see with some degree of specificity that I'm describing of the flow of each of those products and components that are being developed into the larger product. If you see how all of that is happening in real time, you can do better measurement of the carbon that is being used, consumed, or created as a part of this process, which you in turn can turn around and create say, emissions tokens that represent how much carbon has been used. You can sell those emissions tokens on a carbon exchange, purchasing credits to offset those emissions tokens. You can just sort of get a feel for how all of this can change both finance and give us better insight into ESG related items. And that's what we're seeing here, right? So what we're seeing here with Hyundai and the Hyundai group generally, but Kia and others, is they're taking this idea and they're applying it to their supply chain and capturing that same type of information so that they get that transparency and look through into the carbon that is being produced as a result of their manufacturing process. It's exactly that notion that I've been describing for years, and now we're beginning to see it firsthand. And by the way, it should be no surprise to your listeners. These are not council members, right? And
Right.
I think that's an important point. We have giant council members, global 500, global 1,000 council members that are developing and building products on Hedera. But what we have here is Hyundai, the Hyundai Motor Company, that is building, because Hedera provides the best solution for the use case that I just described. And we have a strong focus on enabling transparency for ESG related data. And so that's it. I mean, they are falling into this sort of theme of using Hedera for supply chain use cases related to ESG.
No,
And-
I'll say that what I'm excited about with this particular carbon emission data is that I'm seeing this space evolve to where you have a decentralized committees, right? Or you're going to have for the first time committees and organizations that operate internationally that aren't controlled by a single person or a government. And so, when we talk about ESG,
Or like a
there-
CEO.
Yeah, CEO. When we talk about ESG, for example, there are a handful of companies that pretty much make a lot of the decisions or the rules for this. And I think that, what I'm open, what my eyes are open to is that we're going to get industry standards, and we're going to have real-time data pumped into these committees and organizations, whether it's for carbon emissions or for peace, electricity. I don't know. We can expand. We can sit here and hypothesize all day about it, but at the end of the day, I'm really excited the fact that we're going to have organizations that can set criteria for companies, nation states, and then we can aggregate data in a decentralized fashion
In real time.
in real time without the influence of power and the corruption of politics. And I think that we're turning a corner on.
And that's kind of why I said, hey, we should want government entities and banks to get on the blockchain, because this is stuff that happens, right? And not one person controls. But I think you hit the nail on the head, Mance. It's not like it was Boeing, who is already a council member, that's starting to build on Hedera. These are companies that up to my understanding, have had no exposure or haven't been in the Hedera ecosystem. So I think that says a lot about Hedera, what you guys have done. And
then obviously it's not just even so much of a partnership. It's just like, hey, what is the most efficient way, or what is the most ideal solution, out here in the markets? And if that's the most efficient answer, then I think that's where the natural markets are going to gravitate.
But we know with
to.
all these L1s out there, there's so much to choose from, and it says a lot about what you guys are doing and what you guys have done. Now, Mance, I do want to ask you about this. I pulled this up from the HBAR Foundation. Now, I do want to share this. Migrating the largest user of MasterCard Provenance to Hedera with Fresh Supply Company. Now, in March, there was an announcement, FSCO, Fresh Supply Company, which is the largest user of MasterCard Provenance, that had migrated to a private MasterCard blockchain to the public Hedera network. And then last week, they announced the integration of the Continuity API. What is this? Can you break it down for us, Mance? Because even me personally, I'm just having a hard time understanding as far as what exactly this is going to do. What is it going to change in the payments market? So maybe educate me and everyone watching on this news.
Yeah. Well, this follows the same theme that we were just talking about. First off, they've moved away, which is interesting, right? They've moved away from a private blockchain to a public network for the solution. And why did they do that? They did that because at least they stated that they did that for several reasons. One was the governing council. They trust the governance of Hedera. And I've always said, going back to 2017, that when it comes to Hedera specifically, the tech is important, but I've always believed that the governance ultimately is going to be equally important and perhaps even more important as the industry begins to mature. When you have major organizations, multinational organizations that are building out their solutions, they care deeply that the platforms that they're building on top of are well managed, and they know that we have this governing council that is doing a good job, and it's managed, I should say, by peers of theirs, that sort of thing. So they care about the governance. They cared about the fixed costs per transaction. That's another statement that they made. And they care about the commitment that we have to making ESG reporting credible and providing the transparency that's needed for ESG reporting through the use of our technology, not just the layer one of Hedera itself, but also the Guardian, which is a tool that is being adopted very broadly now by the industry for management, reporting, and verification of ESG-related items, data items. Now, what are they going to do with this? Well, it turns out that what they care about is providing the transparency into the flow of product through the supply chain. And why is that? Because those that are financing the flow of that supply, the financiers that are involved in the agri-food value chain, they care, right? It's been very difficult for them as the people with the money that are providing the financing for the ecosystem to get transparency into exactly what's happening through that supply chain. But if you have all of the players in the supply chain participating in the solution that is on this shared database, if you want to think of it that way, which is Hedera, that means that the financiers have transparency into the transactions, and it gives them more certainty about what what the risks are that are associated with the supply chain as they're providing the financing for various parts of it. So there are a lot of features that can flow from that. You can set up automation so that payments are automated as certain triggers are met. When certain milestones are met through the production or the processing of the food, as it were, then you can have payments automatically released. You can track things like when does a cow get turned to beef, or when does milk get processed into cheese, etc. You can look at transactions associated with customs or fulfilling of standing orders, etc., that sort of thing. So again, it's just another use of Hedera for supply chain. There's in nearly all of these supply chain use cases, there is an ESG component because it's just such a natural layer on top that can be used when processing all of this data in real time, and that's what's going on there.
Is this not only just more efficient, or is this just because I think that's the obvious here is it's more efficient for data storage management and tracking, but is it at the end of the day cheaper? Is it cheaper to operate in this manner than say the traditional way, or are they paying a premium more or less to have everything centralized in a decentralized way?
Well, there are two aspects to that. One is what are the costs associated with using that private blockchain network? And to be honest with you, I don't know what the cost structure was for the MasterCard solution. So I don't know what the real costs there are to the customer. So I can't speak to that. But what I can say is that using Hedera for nearly any application is rather inexpensive relative to all the alternatives, right? Because Hedera is so efficient, and you can pay on a transaction by transaction basis, denominated in dollars, again, not dependent on the price fluctuations of HBAR. We do provide a great option there when it comes to a predictable cost structure for any solution that's being built. So there is certainly that. There are costs associated with managing a private blockchain, and most of those costs are being outsourced to us because the governing council is doing the equivalent. You don't have to provide the governance. Any blockchain, if you stand up a shared database of any form, whether private or public, you end up having to perform the same functions that our governing council performs today in the Hedera network. And so if you're moving from a private network to a public network, then you're effectively outsourcing all of that function to Hedera. And as I've already mentioned, you can do it at a really good price point.
Mance, we want to thank you again for joining us. This is your third time. We hope you have a great time when you're on here, because we truly enjoy having you on, your knowledge, the way you explain things, and you're just a fun person to talk to. And so
we got to get you in studio one of these days too. So make sure if you make your way out to Las Vegas, come hang out with us. I'll grab dinner.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good. We'll do it live in studio.
That would be I'm counting on that. Okay. We're really excited. So that being said, Mance Harmon, thank you again, my friend. We look forward to having you on again soon. Enjoy the rest of your week. And thank you so much.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Of course, pleasure's all ours.
Man,
that was good, man.
If you're a Hedera fan, you guys are in good hands. I mean, so many projects launching, so many projects have been in there. I mean, when you got people like Mance Harmon and Dr. Lehman running, or well, not running the ship on the Hedera side, but having them behind you on your team, I mean,
you know, we got a lot of new people here. We got about 350 people watching. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. Have quite a list here. So first of all, we had Maninja dropping a 99-cent super sticker, Hedera House $10 super chat, admiring Mance. We also had John $5 super chat. And then to the news people that we spotted here, we got Jason R. Water W. Shakespeare, Ethan, Luis S. Morissette, Yari, and then we got Grannies G, James Powell, Coinman, H. Barbarian. We got Cara something.
That's got to be the coolest nickname. I'm sorry. That's got H. Barbarians.
Yeah. And then you got OC Pet Doctor, TFP, YouTube man. Then we also had LD Zuno said, Rob looked like my 13-year-old brother. I am 39 years old, okay? You leave me out of this.
That's a compliment.
And then Safe Investor AG and Ugzos or Ugos. Anyways, to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Guys, let's get the chats going. Let's drop an hola in here. For those of you that don't know, that's kind of like our catchphrase here, hola, O-L-A. So let's support the chat, support the channel. Drop an hola in here. Let's see if we can get a couple hundred holas in the chat. I want to see how fast we can get this chat spammed. So.
Also, to the Hedera Hashgraph community, you guys are badass. Let me tell you something. You guys show up, you show out, you guys support your project. You guys aren't toxic. So to you guys, we appreciate you, and we love having you guys in our space. Now, let's move on to another piece of big news when it comes to crypto adoption. So we had PayPal last week launch PYUSD, PYUSD, their stable coin that's going to be launching and available to over 540 million accounts. Guys, 540 million people have accounts with PayPal globally. Love or hate PayPal, it's great for adoption. PayPal's cryptocurrencies hub to start rolling out soon. PayPal updated its website to indicate the rollout of its, quote, cryptocurrencies hub, which is a new feature allowing users to hold and interact with Bitcoin and other cryptos directly from their accounts. It will also facilitate the conversion between the recently launched PayPal USD and other crypto assets. Moreover, it will also allow users to use the proceeds from the sale of cryptocurrencies to make purchases through PayPal. So there's a quote from the company: "If you establish and access the cryptocurrencies hub, you will be able to hold a crypto asset balance and buy, sell, receive, and send crypto assets, including in transactions where the proceeds from a sale will be used to pay for purchases through PayPal and to convert between Pi USD and other crypto assets." Now, it's important to note, Paxos is the company they're using, and any other authorized service provider that will perform custody, trading, and transfer services for these cryptos. Not all PayPal users will have immediate access to it. The company will decide on a case-by-case basis who will explore this new offering. Robin, how bullish are you on this news?
So it's juicy, man. But here's the thing. I feel like this is all expected, right? If you're going to have a stable coin, you're going to offer Bitcoin and Ethereum for payments, it makes sense that you're going to have a hub or an area that kind of centralizes all of the crypto transactions. So I don't know. I think that's kind of expected, right?
Now, what do you say to the people that are against PayPal? They say PayPal is traditional finance. What do you say to those people?
Well, here's the thing. Like, if you think that crypto is going to stay in only this lane of degens that people are like, hey, I only use crypto. I'll never use a bank, and I don't want banks to use it. And it's going to be integrated across the board. If you're sitting here hoping that Bitcoin gets to $100,000 or your XRP gets to $2 or your whatever layer one you're a big fan of.
Sonic 10 Inu?
Yeah. Whatever crypto project you're in, if you're hoping that it's going to 10, 20, 100x or whatever it is, you got to have the realistic expectation that not only is it going to be just retail putting money into it, but it's going to be mass adopted by institutions and companies, banks, nation states. This is the direction that we're going. Let's not confuse ourselves. What is blockchain? Blockchain and crypto, it is a decentralized at its core, at least at the Bitcoin level. It is decentralized, and you have different amounts of decentralization. Or different styles of decentralization, even at that. And what you're doing is it's a movement of value, a movement of data. And with that said, you're going to have companies that are going to take advantage of it. And so that's what we're talking about with Hedera. That's what we're talking about when it comes to Kia and MasterCard is that, hey, at some point, companies are going to be like, you know what? This blockchain thing is a little bit more efficient. It's a little bit more ideal. It's a better solution for the problems that we're trying to address. And for that reason, they're going to get into it. And so whether it's a car company or a payments company like PayPal, you're going to get adoption whether you want to or not. And so if you sit here and think that you're going to just play in this little ecosystem, trading gift cards, and nobody else is gonna jump in and have a say, you're mistaken. Open your eyes. Because there's a lot of people, even on the content creator side, that are, competitors to us, where they're like, we don't want the banks here. We don't want companies here. Like, you know what I say to you? Shut up.
Wow.
Because, honestly, let's be realistic. You want Bitcoin at $100,000? They're going to play in our playground.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
For me, there is a place for centralized entities and centralization, and there also is a place for decentralized entities and decentralization in the cryptocurrency space. As long as we're given the option to choose, do we want to play in the centralized sandbox or the decentralized sandbox? They can work together. They can both be true. They can coexist. And so the people who are not familiar or don't want to work in decentralization, who want to be able to pick up the phone and call someone at a company and say, hey, I need help with this, or I'm having trouble with this, or whatever the case may be, they want that central authority overseeing and overlooking, then they can go play in that sandbox. But for the people who don't, who really believe and admire the ethos of crypto and decentralization, they can go play in that sandbox and no one's going to bother them.
Or they can be playing with the same sand that they think is centralized or decentralized, or they think it's government, and little do they know they're
It's
transacting
not sand,
with
it's kinetic sand.
Exactly. Do your kids have all those like sand and
My wife won't allow it.
slime?
My wife will not allow it.
It's an absolute enemy to my
The dog ate it one
furniture.
time.
My furniture and
Oh, yeah,
slime,
yeah.
bad idea.
Slime is a big no-no.
I'll just say this. Well, real quick, big shout out to Jimmy, 20 gifted memberships. And we also have a few new people here. Last chance to get your Olas in. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an Ola back at you. We have Warlock, Rebecca, Greg V, Jason F, Safe Investor, Dennis A, Crypto, Outcast, and Omar Rogers. All of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, 99-cent super sticker from a Ninja. That's the second one.
Thank you, man, Ninja. Now, last time, it's funny. Last time Mance was on here, our friend Jimmy in the chat, he said, if Mance says hola, I'll buy, was it $1,700 worth of Hedera? And he did. Jimmy, did you buy more Hedera today?
Yeah.
Because Mance was on. All jokes aside, big thank you to Mance. Big thank you to the Hedera Hashgraph community. If you're watching this after the fact, make sure to subscribe, like the video on your way out. One more shout out to channel sponsor Canvas Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business maximize cybersecurity and networking, visit bluewiretech.com. Also, guys, go follow us on Twitter at SinCityCrypto1. We do have a brand new website up there, sincitycrypto.io. If you want to support the channel, there's plenty of ways to do so. Also, we do have a merch store where you'll not only find Sin City Crypto merch, but general crypto merch as well. Rocco, do we have a Hedera segment on In and Out Crypto?
No, we don't. Actually.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I know Robin always says
Here we go. Poor Rocco. You know, he's
I
over
ain't
here
saying
running the
I
boards, and then we'll
I
be
stopped.
live, and David's all like, "Can you do a cat?
Can you do a
cat
backflip?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's why, you know.
Don't worry. It's very easy to
Jumping on the
design
fire.
T-shirts, Rocco. Just whenever David pops up with an idea.
Almost ready.
Okay, awesome. Also, Gabby P, Teresa, and Mia Chili, and Ginger P. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Mia Chili. With that being said, Rocco,
Did we get to the club limit? How many likes did we get?
Almost,
212.
213.
213? We only
Once
need
the finger goes up, you can't stop
seven
it.
more likes.
Once a tornado
7 more
starts,
likes.
you cannot stop the tornado.
No, your tornado has been canceled. If we get 7 likes, we'll
We're
open
not
up this
getting
club.
7 likes.
Hit the damn like
We're-
We got
Rocco?
30 seconds. 214, 15, 5.
Rocco?
5 more like.
We're ruining our retention here, guys. Let's go.
Okay, so
Rocco?
what do you want to do?
Rocco, I'm your captain.
Tornado, go ahead.
Tornado. Tornado it is. Next time.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy the content, come back tomorrow. We have a Cardano developer and the founder of NFTXLV joining us live in studio. Subscribe, like the video on your way out. We love you guys. See you tomorrow. Peace.
Everybody know we
16.
here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas.
Hey,
I
sorry,
laugh
now,
for the
say it.
major.
Rocco wants me to say sorry, but I got nothing to say sorry for. What's up, man? But don't worry, we'll open up the club tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, say sorry.
To the moon and to the solar. Don't be